A Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate production. Love, Growth, and Freedom with Adrian Lim Duarte. A podcast that talks about the twists and turns of life and how things are intertwined by love, growth, and freedom. Powered by Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate.
Hi guys, welcome to Love, Growth, and Freedom with Adrian Duarte. And today's topic is going to be amazing. It's going to be talking about the different kinds of love that we could see in this world and on the idea of how love is crazy and how love has different meanings for all of us. So we all know that love is actually having that desire or emotion for a specific person and that someone that would actually make us feel like the world is at our feet and the world is not going to be as crazy as we think it is. But we didn't know what we don't know is that that kind of idea of love can be somehow destructive because it's somehow an unrealistic point of view of what love could be for us. And love has different meanings, have different pictures or images and perceptions for each and every person. And on this episode today, we are going to have Miss Gelli of Huntahan Nights to talk with me about chasing the ideas of love. But before we all go into that, before we all go listen to my conversation with Miss Gelli of Huntahan Nights, I would like to just inform you guys of a new thing that I've had now. I partnered with Lazada and Podmetrics, which now I do have a link on the description below. If you want to check it out, you can go check it out. I have a link below that would lead you to the general landing page of Lazada that you could get a few discounts or vouchers if you are a new user. For Lazada, you get 100% off, 100 peso off, and then you'd also, if you are here, our product for today again would be the hand sanitizer of Oxycure and also the Acne Clear Potion, which I really vouch for. So the hand sanitizer is very handy. You can bring it anywhere with you. And then the potion is something that I use for my pimple marks and my big ass pimples. So if you guys are interested in that, you can check down there. If you're into Lazada and all the other stuff about Lazada, you can go check out the 3 links that I'll be putting down below in the description box or my episode description. Thank you guys for taking the time to listen to this. Now, maybe love isn't what we're taught to be. Maybe love isn't just something that we are all familiar with, just the romantic kind of love, but there's so many kinds of love that we could experience in this world. And there are 8 based on psychology or based on other psychological sites that tell us that there are 8 kinds of love in this world. One is agape, the unconditional love that we feel with the idea of God loving us for who we are and apart from all the things that we could be. Eros is a romantic love. We all know this. We all have this ideal kind of love where we want this. We want a partner. We want the one. We want someone to love us despite and in spite or whatever our things are and our issues are. And next is affectionate love or philia, which is mere familial love. It's actually more of that, loving someone who is familiar to you, dear to you, close to you in your relationship. This is what we call platonic love according to Plato, and that's why we call it platonic. It's a love without sexual acts. This is what we feel for your friends, okay, for the people around us. Next is philautia or self-love. In our modern day society, most people associate self-love with being narcissistic, but I don't think that it is the one that we have for that. It's not narcissistic. It's more of just practicing self-compassion towards yourself and understanding that we are not perfect. Next is storge, can be defined as familiar love. I guess this is the one I've got wrong. I was wrong in the other one, but storge is that kind of love that we have for a parent. It's almost affectionate love. It's a lot like affectionate love that we feel between friends, but this is what we feel between family members. We feel for kids, our own kids, if you have your own kids, your mom, your dad, your siblings. This is what you feel, the storge. And we go back to pragma. Pragma is, I guess, everybody's idea of what we want love to be, an enduring love, a kind of love that surpasses the seasons and trials and tribulations of life and challenges between each partner and people. It is not as turbulent as eros or sexual love. It's quite rooted in stability and finding the ground between both of you. Next is ludus or playful love. This is more of the infatuation. This is more of seeing how you kind of like that someone on those kinds of certain aspects. And mania is not necessarily the good kind, it's the obsessive kind of love. With all that in mind, the reason why I want to tell you all these kinds of love is to enlighten you all of the so many kinds of love that you can have and experience in this world, and that we are not supposed to be bound to look for one kind of love and one love alone. So I would love to bring you all back with Miss Gelli of Huntahan Nights after this break, and then we'll talk about all the things that we think about love. So thank you for staying tuned. Listen to again Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Gorilla Podcast Syndicate, and so many more. So if you guys want to listen to me, check that out. Love, Growth, and Freedom. And we'll see you later again after this break.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now, back to the show.
Hey guys, welcome back to Love, Growth, and Freedom with Adrian Duarte. And today I have with me is Miss Gelli of Huntahan Nights. Hi, Miss Gelli.
Hello, Adrian. Thank you for having me.
No worries. How are you doing? How are you there? How's the life for you? Let's have a little chit chat of life updates. How's it going?
I'm good right now. I work as a nurse here in Texas. So it's kind of hard dealing with the pandemic, but I'm getting by. How
Yeah,
are
well, that
you?
I'm also doing great. I am sanay na. I'm actually used to being at home already. That I don't really like going out, and I get impatient because it's traffic
Uh-huh.
all over the place again. But I'm doing well.
Oh,
So before we all start this whole podcast, I invited Miss Jelly of Huntahan Nights with me to talk about the idea of love, chasing the idea of love and the perceptions of love that we have here on this world. And I invited her because Huntahan Nights is they talk about mostly about love now. They had season 2 of Love,
yes. We're
right?
on
And
our love series. Yes.
yeah, so and I wanted her to share with me some insights of her thoughts about love and chasing the idea of love. But before you begin, I'd want you to know about Huntahan Nights more. So, Miss Jelly, could you tell us why you started with your podcast Huntahan Nights and what people could expect and where could we listen to you on this podcast of yours?
Yes. First of all, hello to your listeners here on Love, Growth, and Freedom. My name is Jelly. I'm the host of Huntahan Nights podcast. It's a Filipino podcast that airs every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. PH time. So currently, we're on our love series. So if you guys are interested, we're available in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, and many other pod sites. Are actually we're also available on Amazon now. So
Wow,
that's
Amazon.
exciting. Yes,
I
they
know.
recently launched their
I
podcast.
know. So how did you guys do that? Did you guys put your RSS feed
Yes,
into
just the RSS
Amazon?
feed.
Okay,
Yes,
sure. Well,
yes.
thanks for the
You
tip,
should do
guys.
it.
Yeah, see you guys on Amazon soon. All right. So okay, so tell me about your baby Huntahan Nights. Like what was it born of? Why Huntahan Nights and why the title if you'd wanna expound more.
Yes, Huntahan Nights. Okay, so Huntahan means chat or cuento. So, and night
Ooh.
because I feel like most of our thoughts happen during the night. I don't know. That's just me.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess most of us could agree to that. I guess at nighttime, maybe it's easier for us to think of a lot of things and talk about a lot of things because
Yes, because when
it's
it's
quiet.
quiet,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you get to be alone with your thoughts and whatsoever. So,
Right.
yeah, so what do your listeners or what can new listeners expect from you and your upcoming season of Huntahan Nights or new episodes of Huntahan Nights for these
So yeah,
yeah.
we just finished our mid season last week. So they should watch out for my finale. Like it's a whole story. My season 2 started with a story. So and we're gonna
Ooh.
finish that story. Yes, it's a total it's a complete package. Like it's a
Yeah.
story of a girl looking for love And actually, yeah, just watch out for the for the
Yeah.
ending. And actually, I have a special guest for my finale, so watch out for that one.
Oh
I'm very
my
excited about
gosh.
it. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, it's a whole story, so it's probably gonna get you hooked the first time you listen to the season or the
Yes,
series of
yes,
love.
and yes, and actually we have a mini radio drama in the intro, so they'll get the idea. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's very
It's a whole story,
creative.
yes.
I know that's so
Thank
creative. Okay,
you.
I have to drop by soon. Okay, I have to listen to that
Yeah.
story before you end it. Alrighty. Well, then thank you. Then, which is a good thing because I got you here for talking about love. Okay, so Miss
Yes.
Jelly, are you ready to talk about love again? Are you ready to
Whew,
talk about?
yes, I think
Yes.
so.
Okay, sure. I'd want you to help us define what is love for you. Like, how do you see love and what it is and what is it for you? What's love for you?
Yeah, actually, it's a very uh, well, love. It has different meanings for everybody, right?
Hmm.
So it's subjective. But I think the closest meaning to my heart is that it's a universal language, even meaning my dog can understand it. When I feed
Yeah.
him, when I bathe him, when I take care of him, when I bring him to pet salon or something, like he knows that he is loved. And it's so universal that even mute people can convey it. Even deaf people can hear it. Like it's just so it's just so universal.
Yeah. And
So
it's
that's what it means for
transcendent.
me.
Yeah. It's transcendent that
Yes,
love
yes.
is everywhere at a certain point. If you try to look for it, well that's a beautiful definition of love. So before you all though, so you were talking about unchasing the idea of love. And today we have a lot of unrealistic standards of love. What do you
That's
say
true.
about those? What can you say about those unrealistic romantic comedies that are coming out most of the time, trying to steer up our heartstrings? I mean, it's not bad. I love it. I am a rom com dude. I enjoy watching
Right.
rom
Me
com,
too.
but
I
I
was
do
raised by Disney movies.
exactly same here. I'm a Disney princess at heart, but
That's true.
I've always though I even like right now though, since I do have a very good perspective of what love really is for me and what I want love to be for me, I
Hmm.
kind of whenever I watch rom coms now and it gets little too cheesy, I'd always be like, "Hey,
Hmm.
bakit ganito? Like, ano ba to?
Yes, you
Tunay ba
start.
to? And like, is this
Yes, you
real?"
start to cringe.
I know exactly. You start to like withdraw, and you're like,
uh,
"Ew, is that for real? Like,
there's a
is there?"
repulsive
I
feeling.
know. Like, does anybody meet anyone this way at all? Like, can we
I
all
know
skip
it's
to
so
the
cheesy
part?
sometimes.
I know,
Right.
and they're gonna go to a huge climax where they're gonna fight and they're gonna have, and
Hmm.
then they're gonna be like, "You're the one," and I love, I love you.
I
Like they have all those things. So, what do you say about? What do you think, and what are your thoughts on those kinds of ideas? Since I think we have the same feeling when we get cringy when we watch some of them now, but yeah.
Right. I think it's rooted from our wants. Like people want happy endings. And it's normal for us to believe in happy endings. We need something to hold on to at the end of the day. We need to believe in magic. We need to have something to look forward to. So I guess that's where it's rooted from. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, but so like, what are
You
your
know?
thoughts? Like, are you parang what else can you give about those things? For example, ano bang what is your view on that? Like, do you think there's certain grain of truth to that, or it's just really purely based on fantasies of people wanting to feel that kind of love?
Mm. For me, I believe in choices. Love is a choice at the end of the day. I believe that you need to be committed to it for it to work. I believe that for love to work, you need trust, you need honesty in the relationship. I mean, it's not just for romantic relationships, right? Like love
But
is
it's,
also
yeah,
yeah, for like friendship, there's love in friendship, there's love in,
everything.
you know, yeah,
Yeah,
in
like most
everything.
of your relationship, like you, if you choose to love someone, you would always need those things that you said: honesty, commitment,
Right.
and the choice to be with that. Which is a good one,
Mm-hmm.
because we always see in social media nga ngayon is that we always see the cute couples that show themselves off in social media. We don't know we actually what goes on behind them, but
Mm-hmm.
we usually
That's
see
true.
those, and we're always like, oh, I wish I had that sana all or something.
Yeah, sana all.
Yeah, but in light of those things and romantic comedies, which always depict the idea of the one, what are your thoughts? Do you
Yes.
believe in the idea of the one?
Oh my gosh. Actually, it's easy to say that you believe in the one, but me personally, I don't, because it's putting a lot of pressure on the on the person, on the other person. So, parang kasi kapag yung tao, feeling niya, ako na yung the one, parang ang laking pressure nun sa
Yeah,
kanya. Na tipong, what if I'm gone? What if I leave you? So, what will happen to you? Parang ganon. I'm not, kasi 'di ba meron tayong yung better half. Paano kung wala na ako? So, wala na yung better half mo. So, paano ka na? Parang,
yeah.
you're left with an empty space in your heart and in your life.
That
So
you
I
have to
don't
fill
believe in
in
that. I don't
again.
want to
Yeah,
believe in. Yes. Uh-huh. Yes. And also siguro different stages, in different stages of your life, you'll meet people who will complement you,
exactly.
yeah. So yung growth mo, yung views mo sa life, they all change at a certain point.
Yeah.
So ayun, so parang depende siya dun sa tao, parang ganun.
Yeah. Well, I like that idea. It's the first time I actually heard that perspective of the idea of the one. Ako, when I ask the one, I'd always be like, do you ever believe in it? Do you ever believe like it's just only one person that's meant to be for you? And it's
Right.
wonderful that you told me about like the pressure. Yeah, because there's a lot that would be put on that person if you say that
Mm-hmm.
they're the one. And I like the idea that you save some for yourself. You save some. You don't call
Yes.
that person
You
the better
always
half.
do. You always
Yeah,
do.
exactly. Don't If you call them the better half, well, might as well keep the best half for you, not a better one. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but at least leave a huge part of yourself that's secure enough, so that when that person is gone and maybe that person's not meant to be in your life, you get to have something that you can piece yourself together with. I've had an
Yes. Don't give
experience
your
like
all.
exactly, but yeah, I'm on the other hand, I've had experiences like those where I
Uh-huh.
knew that I was able to leave pieces of myself for me naman. I was able to to
Mm-hmm.
delineate, and I've always believed in. I believe in I want to get married one day soon, hopefully. I don't know when, but I remember when I said I want to
Uh-huh.
get married, I'd say, I'm not going to take your last name.
Wow.
I'm going to hyphenate our names
That's
together.
true.
Yeah,
Actually,
because,
me too. I don't want to take somebody's last name
yeah, because
because, yeah, because I
I'm
made my
me.
I mean, I I live up to my
Yeah,
name. So,
exactly. Yeah, that's a good
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I am me. Like, what I believe in relationships is or are made like romantic. How when we talk about romantic, I think that
Mhm.
if you want to be in a romantic relationship, you have to be sure of yourself. Like when you go into one
Yes.
and know that you are an individual person before that relationship, and that relationship does not
Mhm.
define who you are and your entirety as a person, but that relationship is just
Yes.
another extension of you and your ability to move out of your just little bubble and be with someone you want to be with.
Yes.
So
Mhm. That's
yeah, if I
true.
was able to learn those things at a certain point, because I was in a long-term relationship after for like 5 years, and then we broke up. Cheating
Mhm.
incidents happened, so I was like,
Oh
oh, that was
no,
painful.
that
That was,
sucks.
yeah, that did suck,
Yeah.
but I knew I grew up from it. I was like, yeah, well, we weren't meant to be, but I was believing in that the idea that we were both supposed to be great, and then when we were together, we were infinite for a few moments, for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
But when we came, and then when things started to change, especially when my life had to move forward and his life had to move forward, things were different too. So I guess
Right.
you were right that if you give your all, and that person is just on a different direction, on a different book, a different page than you
Right.
are, then where will you be, right? Like, where will you
Mm-hmm.
stand your ground? That's how
Yeah.
I like that.
I used to believe in that actually. I used to believe that there is the one for me. So when I met this long-term boyfriend that I had, he's already an ex-boyfriend, and I thought we'll end up together. I began, you know, dreaming about our future together, having kids, planning together and everything. But then parang yun nga hindi nag-work. We both grew apart, and that's the reality of some relationships na there's no cheating, walang cheating na naganap, walang major struggles, pero you just grew apart. Suddenly, your interests are not the same anymore. The future that you see is not the future that he is seeing or the other person
Yeah,
is seeing anymore. And paano kung mangyari yon? Parang you have this vision in your head and suddenly it's gone.
exactly.
Kung
Yeah,
maniniwala ka na siya yung the one, you'll be left shattered talaga. Yung sarili mo parang, so, paano na ako? Where do I go from
exactly,
there? So, that's so
exactly.
painful.
Yeah, and it's like
Diba?
you built your,
Mhm.
especially when you had the idea of the one, you've also built your
Yes.
life on that foundation of like,
Yes.
I have the one, I'm gonna have the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that's true. I
Yes.
love this topic. I mean,
That's sad.
I, it is sad, but it's like it's an eye opener for a lot of people around us. I think that's why a lot of people get to relate to topics about love. It's because we all somehow crave
Mm-hmm.
for the same thing. Though what makes us different is sometimes
Right.
we
Yes.
crave human connection. We crave that. But I think on my end, what I realized about that too is that people don't really just crave about love. Maybe they crave about
Mm-hmm.
it because they chase the wrong idea of love. That love is a perfect
That's
thing.
true.
Love makes everything go whatever. I don't know. It is true. Love is healing. Love is that. But one thing that they don't tell you is that it's not the only kind of love that can heal, right? It's not the only
Yes, and
love.
it's not all pretty all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love can be ugly as it can be
Yes, love
ugly
can
as
be ugly.
love can be monstrous and toxic,
Yeah,
especially when
love can be messy. Yes.
yeah, especially when you love someone and it's a talk. For example, being in a toxic relationship, love there is
Mm-hmm.
messy. Love there is bad. Even though how much you love each other, you guys just clearly don't understand each other. And that's would you still be willing to stay and fight for something that's actually destroying you more than it's building you up? So there's so many facets about love on that thing. So with
Right.
that, what's the scariest thing
Mm-hmm.
about love for you? Because you're in a relationship right now, right? So what's the scariest thing?
Yes, I am.
And I have other follow up questions for that. But what's the scariest thing about love for you?
Okay, I think I'm not okay. When I love, I don't feel scared at all because I have this belief that when you love, it should be positive. It should make you grow. It should be about the experience, right? But I think the one thing that will scare me the most is when the love is too consuming to the point na I'm losing myself. I'm losing my
Oh,
identity. Like my whole plan for my life changes. Parang I don't see myself anymore
yeah.
na interested in what I was doing before. So yun yung scary part for me.
Well, oh yeah, that is
Kasi it
yung
happens eh. It happens in a
yeah,
relationship. When you love someone, you tend to love what they love. For example, yung partner
yeah,
mo, mahilig mag-basketball. Eh, ikaw, you don't, you're not interested in sports. But
yeah.
then, because you love that person,
You'll try to
you go
yeah,
to their game. Yes, yes, you
you'll
try
try
to
to
love what they
understand.
love. Yes. And then eventually, parang pag nagtagal na kayo, you'll realize, I don't really love sports talaga eh.
Yeah.
And then parang dun mo ma-realize kung ano ba yung kailangan mo ba talagang magbago for a person? Dun papasok yung question na yun.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yun ang ayoko. Yun ang yung ayokong mangyari sa akin. Na tipong, I would change for a person. Parang, we need to change to grow, siguro. Pero not to the
Yeah.
point na we are totally changing ourselves and our
Exactly.
identity.
Just to fit in that mold of your relationship.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. I like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
But see, I'm just so happy to have you here because like see, I'm learning more about the things that how's your view in love and how people see it. Because that's true. I love
Right.
the fact that you said that you don't want to lose yourself in that relationship because
Mm-hmm.
I think what people, which is also true that we all can be chameleons about people, and like we love what
Yes.
they do because we love them. We try to change just so we could fit
Right.
that perfect notion that we love that person. And I understand that it is part of it sometimes, but as again,
Mm-hmm.
there's a limit to it. There's a limit to
Yes.
understanding it. Maybe you get to grow and understand that, okay, this person likes it and I'll give it a try, and if it's not, I'm just gonna say I'm
Right.
sorry, I did my best. Well, I
Yes.
think, now looking back at my own din naman, my own experiences again, parang, oh, I
Yeah.
actually kind of consumed myself over time there. But I did,
Oh.
and then the moment that I claimed some of myself back, that was then the moment that things went rough. So, okay, I guess it wasn't really talaga meant. So, yung mga ganon, see, these are the things that I like about
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
talking about these things because you get to post process all the things that has happened. And yeah, me and my
Yeah. It
friend
will make
also
you
talked.
reflect, right?
Exactly. And then me and my friend also talked about this, is that we don't want to be chameleons anymore. We don't want to be with someone and say, I love this thing because I love you. So no, I love something and I'll try to love what you love, and if I don't like it, you'll have to respect my decision and my boundaries and my
That's true.
space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you
Yeah.
can't use that against me because we're all so different. It's not like I'm forcing you to do
Yeah.
something that I love. So yeah, well,
Yes.
that's a good point. But
Yeah, you should
here,
be your own person.
exactly. And you also answered my
Mm-hmm.
supposed follow-up question because you said that
Okay, what's your follow-up question?
you said that when you come into love, you're brave, you're
Mm-hmm.
courageous, you're not scared because when it comes to love is that you have to go for it for the experience to understand that
Yes.
love comes with the danger of getting hurt, with the danger of being broken, but also with a great possibility of being empowered. And yeah, I love, it's fun when you choose to love somebody. That's what I remember. I feel like I'm so
Mm-hmm.
excited to love somebody new because I'm like, yeah, I'm excited to give my love to someone who deserves it. So I'm waiting. Um
Yes.
but like it's good to love I just feel like when you give some love, affection and communication and understanding, it makes you feel like lighter. At least it makes you feel like the world is somehow nicer because you get to see that, and you're not a loser. Yun nga din yung sinasabi ko, when you're in love and then you break your heart or whatever, you don't actually lose when you're the one who loves the hardest in that perspective, because you have given your all, and you've known where your love can survive, how long and how far your love can survive for that person. And when it doesn't, it's not gonna make you have regrets anymore. So that's a very admirable trait,
Yes,
Miss
that's true.
Jelly.
Mm-hmm.
That's very admirable of you not being
Thank you.
fearful of that. But what what are the things that you look out for, like signals or subconscious thoughts in your head, that you say na, I love this person. Like I love you. Like what was the moment that you said I love this guy who like your boyfriend now, or girlfriend, or your partner. I'm sorry, I got that now. But
Yeah,
you
boyfriend.
yeah, see, there you go, boyfriend. Sorry guys, I just want to be like, some inclusive.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
whatever, it's like
I get it.
uh
Mm-hmm.
but Yeah. So what was the time? What made you realize that you love him?
Yeah, so for me, communication is a big part of a relationship. So when I'm able to talk to him, we have the same wavelength. That's a really a big plus. But at the same time, one major quality that I look for in a relationship is respect. He needs to respect me as much as I respect him, because everything all the other aspects, kapag wala yung respect, it affects the rest. For example, um, he doesn't respect me pero he loves me, parang ang tendency ma-abuse, yung ganon.
Yeah.
So, may mga ganong part. So, respect talaga. Tsaka kapag nirespeto mo yung tao, the communication is respectful also. Yung hindi ka babasusin, hindi ka biglang iiwan na lang, ganon. Or hindi mag-cheat kasi he respects you. So, may ganon.
To.
Ganon. Hindi kita pinapatamaan. Char.
Okay lang. Aray, char. Okay lang. Tamang-tama na. Matagal na yung creator na lang siya. Okay na ako.
Oh.
But, yeah.
Healed.
Healed na yan. Okay na yan. Ano na lang yan. Keloids na lang siya. but, but yeah, okay. Totoo. Do you remember the first time that you said I love you to your boyfriend? Like, how did it feel for you? Were you scared? Were you? I'm always interested in that because I've always found it hard to express mine. I'm not someone who says I
That's
love you
true,
all the
right?
time. Like,
Yeah,
not
because
even
when
my
you say I
parents.
love you,
I'm
yeah,
not
because
even my
when you say I,
family. Yun nga, yun, go.
right.
Sorry. Go,
Yeah, we're
tuloy.
not. Yeah, we're not really very vocal, no. Most Filipinos are not really vocal about it. Depende siguro kung how you were raised. Pero when I said I love you, I think I felt so vulnerable. I felt like I'm opening my heart out to this person. Yung tipong you're giving him a gun and you're parang naghihintay ka na lang kung anong gagawin niya dun sa gun. Is he gonna pull the trigger or what?
Uh,
And kasi
yeah.
kasi that's how it is eh. You open up your heart to someone. So yeah, I felt vulnerable. You're fearless when you enter a relationship. You feel fearless when you start dating, but when the actual love happens, when the actual love starts, that's when your fears are exposed, your weaknesses are exposed. You learn this person na parang, is he gonna love me back, or is his love gonna be parang the same as the love that I'm willing to give him, parang ganon. So, merong
Ah.
fears, may takot, but it's all part of it. It's all part of the experience.
Oh my gosh, which is true. Ayun yung, I think, yan yung moment na hindi, that's the moment that I'm gonna be like scared of when I find someone who kind of like
Right?
matches my vibe. I'm like, maybe, am I really gonna do
Mm-hmm.
this? Am I really just gonna jump the gun again and be like, yeah,
Yes.
but that's scary. But yeah, okay, that that is scary. Like that's a scary thought for me, like, which is
Yeah.
yun nga. But yeah, okay, that's wonderful. I'm really like so happy when you talk about all those things because those are the things that we really feel when it comes to that kind of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
now moving on to the other questions is that what do you think about self love? What's like the hardest thing about you that you have to learn to love? Because we've been talking about leaving some spaces for us, leaving some whatever for us,
Right.
and that question is rooted in we all chase love from other people. And how about the love that we have for ourselves? How do we feel about it? Because that's the hardest part, I guess, is you can't really open up to someone if you're not opening up to yourself, if you're not loving yourself in a sense where you respect also what you feel and acknowledge so your bad
Mm-hmm.
and negative emotions. So yeah, what is like what's your view on self-love and what's the hardest thing that you had to love about yourself to be able to be where you are today?
Right. So, yung self-love kasi na journey, it starts with self-awareness. You have to know your weaknesses, your strengths. You have to know kung ano bang gusto mo sa relationship. what do you want from this relationship? What do you want from this person? Is this person gonna help me grow? Is this person gonna ruin me or destroy me? So those are the questions that you need answers. Eh. So I actually nahirapan ako dyan sa question na yan. dun sa dyan sa
So,
question na yan, particularly, I had to ask my boyfriend, like, what do you not like about me? Because if I'm gonna answer that, like, I won't be able to, because I know myself, I know what I want, so I'm kind of like that person. So, and he told me sometimes you're very controlling. So that's when I realized, oh yes, it's true. Sometimes I'm very controlling, and that's what he doesn't like about me. So I know I'm aware of it, but since we've been together for for not really a long time, but for 7 months, I tend to not see it anymore. And
yeah,
even kasi parang you're kasi kapag halimbawa yung qualities ko na yon, nag-a-adjust yung mga tao sa paligid ko, yung environment ko, yung coworker ko. So I don't see it anymore. Meron akong like blind spot na kumbaga.
yeah.
So that's why I had to ask him. So siguro
Okay.
yun. Yeah.
So
Ikaw
parang
ba?
may outside perspective.
Are you
No.
really, yes, are you really that self-aware na tipong, do you really know kung ano yung, kung saan ka, kung ano yung weakness mo, or
Well, I think,
kung ano yung
for
ayaw
me,
sa'yo ng iba?
yeah, for me, I think the constant, with self-awareness, it's a constant thing. I don't think any one of us is ever so
Mm-hmm.
sure of ourselves. But
Yes.
but the effort of loving and being more compassionate towards yourself and your ideas and what comes out of your head is quite the important thing for me. Kasi if you constantly try to figure out yourself, which is good yung ginawa mo, that's really, really good because you ask outside perspective because you'd always think na, I
Yes.
got everything under control. There's nothing
Right.
good or bad about
You
me.
always think,
Yeah.
I think I'm a good person naman.
Yeah, yeah. But I still do. I actually, those are like one of the questions I have in my head. Like, am I inherently a good person? Am I really a good person? Like, am I really good because I want
Uh-huh,
people to
yeah.
be good to me? Or am I really good because I just want them to be good? Or I just want them to experience the same kindness that the world is
That's
giving me?
true.
Like,
Yes, because
those were
sometimes you
questions.
have yes, you have a switch you turn on when you're talking to someone,
Yeah,
but when you're with another person, with someone you love, you become yourself, you become comfortable
yeah,
being yourself. So they will see those parts of you that others
exactly.
don't. So
Exactly.
yeah, so you had to
Yeah, but I do.
ask
I
them
do
their
have a lot
perspective.
of I do have a lot of things that I'm always still learning to love about myself naman. But I'm not always self-aware of my weaknesses.
Mhm.
But I do know like some of the weaknesses already. For example, I'm not controlling, but I do get emotional and stressed easily for like when there's some
Oh,
things
okay.
that happens. For example, when at home, I always tend to feel upset when my routine gets broken. It's
Oh
really
yeah, I
I
hate that.
think it has to do something with my controlling side too, but it has to do with like
Yes.
anxiety because I kind of want things to go on that schedule because I think I have other things
Yeah,
that
the way
would
you
be bumped
planned.
off. Yeah, there would
Mhm.
be other things that would be
Yes.
bumped off. So I'll be upset. Like I'll be like, why did
Mhm.
you tell me earlier so I was able to adjust my timeline and my schedule? I'd be upset. I'm not be able to communicate my opinions and my emotions. But though that has been a
Right.
thing, and another thing was this is a report from my boss back in my old school. She's like, he always complains first, but he still does the job.
Mhm.
I mean, I hope he can do less complaining because technically I'm not complaining. I'm just like, what am I gonna do with this? How am I gonna do this? Like it sounds like a complaint, but it's like, oh, there's so many things to do. But
You're just
okay, I'm still
asking
gonna.
questions.
Yeah, I'm asking questions and still having
Right.
my own remarks, but I'm still gonna do it. It's just, it's too much.
Right.
Like those are the
Uh-huh.
things. And yeah, I think I have a temper issue, which I'm working on now. But that's why I also enjoy working with kids as a preschool teacher because you're not supposed to
Oh,
be
you're a preschool
high.
teacher.
Yeah, I am. So I'm
Uh-huh.
not supposed to be hot-headed. So I get to learn how to communicate my
Right.
feelings. Recently, I was able to
Uh-oh.
do that with with a fling. Yes, I was able to do that with a fling last Aquarian fling. Na I was able to tell, yeah, I was able to tell him that I need to walk away from the situation because it's not like it wasn't optimal anymore and that person became selfish. But I
Mm.
did not get mad at him. I just
Oh
told him,
no.
yeah, I just told him that I think it's best that we do our own thing because you don't really have the time and I also don't have the time and the effort or also the energy to actually put in more than what you put into because like you've been if
Right.
you see our conversation you've been kind of talking about he it goes like this. How are you today? He's gonna message and I'll be like, I'm good. Things are going well. How are you today? And then he won't reply for a few
Mm-hmm.
hours and he'd reply, oh my gosh, my day's been so crazy and whatever, whatever. So there was a complete disregard for me and my question. Since he was the one who
Mm-hmm.
asked the how are you, then there was no response to the answer. So it was a
Right.
cycle of that. I was like, no, there's something wrong with this.
No, it's not working.
Yeah,
Yes.
but instead of like blowing off and be like, why are you like this? Like, why can't you just like no no? I was like,
Uh-huh.
I told him specifically how I felt about it, and it became
Right.
easier. I'm learning, but those are the things. And lastly, I think the thing that know that I find loving myself about, or yeah, the hardest thing to love is also I'm very talkative. Like, it's a
Mm-hmm.
good thing for some people, but and it's also it comes with ano with pagka taklesa at a certain point because I open. I'm a very open person. So when people tell me
Right.
things,
We're the
I
same.
should I
Oh yeah,
should
we're the same way
remember. Yeah,
actually.
right. So I should remember that it's a secret sometimes. I'm not supposed to tell anyone because on my end, it's not
Mm-hmm.
as a heavy thing for other people. Because when I hear rumors and things, I'm not like making. I'm not the typical person to make to light a fire or to like bring more gas to the fire, fuel to the fire. But I'll be like, oh, okay. But I'll be like, I'll see it for myself. Like I am the judge
Mm-hmm.
here. Like I get to judge that person. Well, I mean, I don't really. I'm not supposed to judge, but I mean, I get to judge if that really is true. The rumors, if I get to justify the rumors that I hear, because if that person's also good to me, why would I base my treatment or my relationship of that person based on the rumor that I heard from somebody else? So, but sometimes people are not like that. People, when they hear rumors, that actually fuel the fire, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, yeah.
Right.
So I'd have
Instead
to,
of confronting you, right?
yeah. But I have that's why I have to like
Yeah.
shut it. I have to learn when to shut it, and I've brought myself in some like bad situations like that because I can't keep myself
Mm-hmm.
shut. So yeah, that's I guess one thing that I really have to fix on. And it's also great. I'm sure you have friends who tell you when they need to tell you the
Mm-hmm.
things that you need to hear. And it's wonderful to have them
Yes.
around to keep you sane and in track of your growth of your personal development then. Which is good.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's important, no, na meron tayong
Mhm.
constructive criticism na tinatawag, di ba? From your friends, from those people who really, truly care about you.
Yeah,
Kasi merong mga tao na, fake people, they would tell you, oh,
exactly.
do this, do that, but their intention is way off. So you
True.
have to have that judgment also when it comes to
Yeah.
people.
I have a feeling that you're an empath, Miss Jelly. Are you an empath? Like, are
No,
you?
actually no. No, actually no. That's my weakness. Yeah. I'm not
Really?
sensitive at all. No.
It's
I
all
don't know.
good.
I'm
I
not
thought,
sensitive.
but
Yeah. No.
but you do have a vibe. I thought like, oh yeah, because ako din. I
I'm
have a
trying to learn. I'm trying to learn because my boyfriend is very empathic. So I'm learning from him.
yeah, and he feeds off the energy, syempre, of what you give them, syempre, as an
Mhm.
empath.
Yes.
Empaths,
Oo.
you take in. Yeah. Okay. Another question. Before we like go on with your message for everything. So yeah. Wait. Oh my goodness. I lost the thought. If I, I lost the thought. That's so upsetting. I guess. Sige, let's just move on to like what is your message for people, especially people who like chooses? Oh, before that, sorry, found the thought. Found the thought. I love
Okay.
you. Yeah. So you were talking about like not being chameleons, right? You were talking about like
Yes.
um mm,
Embracing who you are.
yes, and not to be not allowing yourself to
Being
be
the
consumed.
dragon.
Yeah, be the. Oh, I love the reference. You're a
Yes.
dragon. Be a dragon. Yes, Valar Mogulis. Everybody.
Yes.
Okay, but I mean the idea of not to be so consumed about the things. Do you watch Grey's Anatomy? Have you seen
Yes,
Grey's
actually,
Anatomy?
yes. Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
thank
You know
God.
my favorite character there?
I'm gonna
It's
say
Christina
I was, yeah,
Yang.
I had a
It's
feeling.
Christina Yang.
Christina Yang is the epitome
Yes, for
of,
the win. Oh my gosh.
yeah, of an empowered
Yeah.
person, and like, dude, Christina Yang
Mm-hmm.
doesn't give a rat's ass to how you're feeling, and I love
Yes.
how she was like, there's so many monumental
She's just her
moments.
own person.
I
Yeah.
know she has so many monumental moments where she was when when Owen Hunt told her that you're beautiful, and she was like, "Screw beautiful," or "Screw that." If you want to
If you
praise me
wanna
by,
appease me, yes.
yeah, praise me
If
by my
you yeah, if you
brilliance.
wanna appease me, praise my brain. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yes, that's the girl I know. Like, yeah, and also,
Right?
yeah, and one of the things
She
that,
knows what she doesn't want.
yeah, and she stands up to it. She didn't want kids,
Yeah.
and then she really was like,
Yep.
no matter how she loved Owen, she really just told him that I can't, and I want you to be happy. So she tried to hook him up with the people and whatsoever.
Yeah,
So
other people. Yes.
yeah,
No,
I love
actually,
it.
but there's a character development there, huh? When she was with Burke, Dr. Burke, she lost herself. Do you remember when they got
Yes,
married? She removed
they
her eyebrows. So that's when you know, like, she lost herself.
and
Like,
she
she's
doesn't
not
want to
Christina
go
Yang
through that.
anymore.
Yeah, and she doesn't want to
Yes.
go through
So
that again.
so it's very symbolic yung pag tear niya nung wedding gown. It's like I'm claiming
Ah,
myself back.
girl, I
'Di
love that
I really
episode.
love that
That
show.
gave me like
Yes. Oh
that
my
part was like she was crying, like she was, I don't know if she was crying or
Mhm.
she was happy, but she was like, I have to remove all of this. Like it was like everything.
Yeah, and I remember her statement there. She said, "I'm free." So it's
I
like,
love it.
yeah, that's the thing, no. Kapag yung love very consuming, you don't see it anymore until the last straw na ma-feel mo na you're suffocated.
Yeah.
'Di ba?
Oh my
I love that
gosh.
show.
I know. Okay. Leading up to that, my favorite line of all was
Okay.
he he is dreamy. He is very dreamy.
Mm,
But do not eclipse what he wants to what you need. You are the sun.
yes.
He is
You
not the
are the
sun. You
sun.
are. I know. And I was like, up
Yes.
until
Oh my
then,
gosh.
up until now, it's one of the things that I'm like, yeah, why are we having so many clips? I mean, building a relationship is important. I understand it. I see it in traditional points of view and non-traditional and whatever. But I would want to be in a relationship where it's like the sun and moon, where each of you gives
Mm,
light to each other and support to each other, but does not overbound takes boundaries. But
yes.
at a certain point, some points in life, we eclipse together just because, you know, it happens. We connect, we collide, and all those things. So yeah. I love that. I love that show. I'm glad that you even love Game of Thrones. So guys, I'm just so happy because that's not true. It's not only 1% of the community that's not watching Game of
No, it's
Thrones.
not.
A lot of people have not been watching Game of Thrones. Like whenever I meet
Oh, I
someone, I'm
feel
like,
bad for them actually.
I know that series was great.
They're missing out.
Yeah,
Although the
minus the
ending was
finale.
but
Yeah, that was dumb. That finale season was dumb. Like it was. I
yeah, they just
remember
ended it
the long night.
for the sake of ending it. Yeah.
Yeah, the long night was like I can't see a thing. Like, can I just?
I know. Oh my god.
I love it. See,
And then the transition, like, right? Oh my
yeah.
god. I missed
Okay,
it actually.
I love. Oh, Dude, okay, let's not get into the red. Let's get into the red wedding. Red wedding,
Oh
I
no.
cried. I bawled my eyes out. I felt like I had a family
Oh.
member die because of red wedding. I was like, ah,
Mm-hmm.
that
And you
wedding
didn't
was
see it coming kasi.
exactly. And you were like rooting for the Starks, like the Starks will win.
I
Yes, go Rob
know.
Stark. And then boom, they got killed off, all of them all together in Catelyn Stark, and I'm like, ah, gosh, that was
But
enough.
yung reward from Arya when he killed, King Frey. So that's the reward of it, right?
Yeah,
You
but it's
remember that part?
yeah, like it was she put everybody in the pie that Walder Frey was
Yes,
eating.
I love
Eh,
it.
But
Oh
look,
yeah, I
see,
love it.
I know, but see, that's another miss detail in the finale. Like what happened to the no
Mm-hmm.
one powers
Right?
of Arya. Like, and it was so funny
Yeah.
that Arya was the one who got to kill the Night Walker. It was so anticlimactic for me. Uh, uh, and how the
Mm-hmm.
dragons died so easily. Like, Rhaegal was just like shot
Right.
with the
Uh-huh. Yeah.
dragons.
It felt so rushed kasi.
I know.
Parang they just wanted to end it na parang, sayang yung show.
Yeah. It was just
Right?
oh yeah, oh and that Olena Tyrell, rest in peace. Where
Mm-hmm.
she
Oh
just
my, yes.
yeah tells
Rest
her
in power.
yet rest in power. Tells Cersei I did it. Yes, you did it, Olena.
Oh
Thank you.
my gosh, yes.
Yeah, well that was I love this little chikahan session. Little huntahan session with all of
Puntahan
this.
session.
Yeah. Guys, don't forget to drop by Miss Jelly's Huntahan Nights podcast. They have their love series upcoming. You know, they have it in Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker. I'm sure you're in Breaker too. Anchor and
Yes, Breaker,
Amazon, guys.
Anchor,
They're in Amazon
Amazon,
now.
yes.
Yes,
The
Huntahan Nights.
newest pod site,
Yeah.
yeah.
Guys, you have to go take a listen. They have love in there. If you enjoyed the topic today, you guys can, you know, join them and listen to more. It's a story, and they're gonna have a nice finale. I'm excited for Miss Jelly, which I'm also gonna listen. I have to take that
Yes.
listen. But have you also what do you call that? Do you also oh never mind, lost the thought again. See, it's the morning, but but all that I'd want to ask a
Brain
message
fog.
yeah, I'd want to ask a message from you to our listeners who are, in a situation or still in that idea of love, chasing that idea of love. How can we shift our mindset to want love, not differently, but at least to want love that is healthy and, something that would be sustainable for all of us?
Yes, your listeners, I want them to find the love that is right for them. Be your own person, embrace who you are, be true to yourself, and just be yourself. Love will come at the right time. Ayun, siguro.
Yeah, I think thank you for that message. I think that's always been, even though we all know that already, we always hear that subconsciously that love will come at the right time. People are stubborn. People are always gonna have, oh, I want it already. That's why there's so many dating apps and so many dating groups and so many that I understand.
Right.
I understand the feel,
Yes.
the need to be heard, to be felt, to be seen, especially during
Yeah,
this
and be
pandemic.
open to be open to failures. Not all relationships are meant to last. Siguro, yun na din, no?
Yeah,
Parang yung expectation siguro maging realistic. At the same time, you just
yeah,
enjoy. Enjoy the experience. Enjoy the love
yeah,
that you're feeling and learn from it. If it doesn't work
exactly.
out, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You'll learn from it. So, take it to heart, siguro, yung lessons na mali-learn mo dun sa relationship na yun. Yeah, and just move on, move forward, be your own person. Kasi kapag you know yourself, you stand your ground, parang eventually, kung dumating man yung love for you, kung hindi man, you found naman the love for yourself.
Yeah,
So, ganun na lang.
exactly. So it won't you won't be you won't have to compromise so much of yourself to just be in a relationship. That is so
Yes, yes.
thank you so much about that message because it's true. That's we often find so many things to compromise and we always expect it to then I think one last to end this on a note, when you guys are dating and you're out there, don't expect everyone that you go out on a date with you're gonna end up with. Just keep an open mind
Oh,
and
that's
maybe
true.
they become your friends. And if they do, they can lead you to
Mm-hmm.
people that would actually find you at the same interest and whatsoever. Because in times like these,
That's actually a life hack, no?
yeah, guys,
Broaden your circle of friends, right?
exactly. Yeah, and also do the things that you like, which is also part of that. Find your own thing,
That's
find your
true.
own
Your
passion.
interest.
Yeah, and then
Mm-hmm.
you'd find a group of people that you actually connect with on that level with a commonality. And then who knows? Mahalay mo.
That's
Pagdating ng
true.
panahon, may makilala ka because of all those people that you connect with. Yeah, that's true. So don't expect too much. It doesn't mean that they swipe right. They want to be in a relationship with you. It's just they found you, attractive at first sight. So,
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So you guys have to keep an open mind, broaden your perspective, and see, and give chance a love to grow, or give chance, yeah, for a love to grow. That's it. Okay, Miss Jelly, thank you so much. Would you have anything you want to share before, like say your ending spiel for everybody? Go, guys. Miss Jelly of Huntahan Nights.
No, just thank you for having me, Adrian. Such a pleasure
No,
to be here.
it was so much fun. I did not expect how far the conversation would go to Game of Thrones to Grey's Anatomy. It's such an amazing
Grey's Anatomy.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much, Miss Jelly. And bye,
Thank
lovies. We'll see
you.
you soon. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Again, if you want to listen to more of our episodes, you can go to Love, Growth, and Freedom on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, and so many more. Okay, YouTube and Gorilla Podcast Syndicate. So there you go. Thank you, Miss Jelly, again, and I'll see you soon, hopefully, on our few episodes when I get to have a chance to think of what else we could talk about. So, guys, thank you so much, and goodbye.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or via RSS. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, rate and review this podcast and share it with your friends. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And if you want to know more, check out www.guerrillapodcast.com.au or guerrillapodcast.com.ph. A Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate production.
Okay, thank you guys. That was a wonderful conversation that we all had with Miss Jelly here, and it was a nice message, and it was so good. And I'm sorry that it had to run so long because it was such an amazing conversation that we had today, and then I loved having that conversation with Miss Jelly because it was good. It was good to see what kind of perspective that each and every one of us has with love. So to end this podcast and this episode, I'd want to remind you guys that don't go chasing love in the wrong places. Why don't Since we all could have it, we all could make it. Why don't you make your own version of your own love? Why don't you become someone you would love? And then that at the end of the day, when someone comes along and someone you like or someone who likes you and tries to love you for who you are, gets to love that real and genuine you. We get so caught up in chasing the idea of a perfect partner and love that we forget to accept love in different places of this realm and also in our experiences and the people around us. If you're so fixated on finding that the one, you'll be leaving yourself a little bit down in the dumps because it's hard to find the one, because I don't believe that there's just the one that would make us feel happy. I guess there's a communal kind of love. There's so much love everywhere, and you're anchoring your only love to one person would actually be devastating for you if that person leaves. Again, according to our conversation. So leave some for yourself and find love in places that you know it belongs and it actually will flourish with your family, your friends, and people who support you. I know that we all crave for deeper connection and to be seen and heard as we are by one person. Maybe that's for you and maybe that's not for others. We should all respect the way each and every one of us define and understand love to be. Remember that love is always different for everybody. In loving someone, you're in danger of getting hurt. It's imminent, and with knowing that and still choosing to love shows immeasurable strength. So there is a risk of getting hurt, and with you jumping in, like Miss Jelly here, who has been so courageous every time we start a relationship, when she started her relationship, so it shows immeasurable strength. I hope you find yours when you find that person that you want to risk most of this out. So, and yeah, don't fear, love, embrace it, and allow it to flow. Before we all end this, thank you again so much for listening to Love, Growth, and Freedom with Adrian Duarte and today's topic of chasing the idea of love. Thank you so much. You can listen to me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, and GuerrillaPodcastSyndicate.com.ph to listen to all my new episodes. Click subscribe so you won't miss out on a new one. And yeah, lastly, don't forget if you want to buy some stuff from Lazada, you can check out the links that I posted below. One is a general link that will bring you to the landing page or the homepage of Lazada, which could offer you a few discounts and vouchers. And also, you'd also see Oxycure and the High Five sanitizer that could help you today in this pandemic. It's a handy sanitizer that you could get, and also if you're a new user, you have 100 peso off on things that you want to buy. I'd also put on the link there, and also the acne clear potion if you've got acne scars that you want to get rid of. So, well, with all that, thank you so much for listening to Love, Growth, and Freedom with Adrian Duarte. Again, don't fear love, embrace it, and allow it to flow. Bye, lovies.